Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make an emergency candle with a forever wick. It's going to outlast you. Alright, let's get going. What we need for this, okay, I'm going to make it in a mason jar, but you can make it in a jar, you can make it in a can, you can make it in pretty much anything you like. Matter of fact, if you have some kind of a tin with a cover on it, that's great. That way you can take it out camping. Great for heat, great for light if you're camping, great for emergency if everything goes out. So I got my mason jar. I'm going to take the cover off it, put that right there. I am going to use wax. Okay, so I have some wax bits, plus I also have some melted wax. And the main ingredient in this is steel wool. This is something that I bought from, I believe it was Walmart, and you've probably seen these little scrunchy steel wools. They're actually made out of stainless steel, and that's why they're going to be forever wicks. See all that fun stuff? And these are a little thick, but they make great balloon animals. All right, here we go. Remind you of your last doctor's visit? All right. I'll probably have to edit that one out. So we have the steel wool, which is going to be the wick. We have the jar. Now there's a couple other things you're going to need. Have you ever seen these little tea lights and pulled one of the wicks out and they look like this? These are ones that I took out of the candles I had some used up candles like this here. Okay, so it's great. You can use up pieces of candle. So I guess we call this a recycled candle. So now what you would do is you would take this piece out. Ugh, I don't know if you can see it anymore. Okay, it's just a small little piece. And you would put your wick through here. Now what I did to make this easier, because I always like to make things easier, I actually went out and bought some from the craft store. So these are a little bit bigger, easier to deal with steel wool. See what that looks like? And this is the base. It's going to sit on the bottom here with the wick going through it, so I can just drop it right in and it'll stay there so I can pour the wax in. Cool idea. Now this candle can be done with Crisco. You can do this with the wax, anything that will solidify the wick there. So now I have this part, pretty much everything we need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of this stuff. Okay, let's see what we do if I can go like this. Oh, that's making it go pretty good. See how it's starting to get into a wick already? And this is why you want to wear the gloves. You can do this without gloves, but you're probably going to have a lifetime wick with skin in it. You heard that saying, you have a little skin in the game, you're going to have a little skin in the candle. But it's always good to leave a part of you in your jobs. No, I don't think that's what that means either. All right, so look at that, how good that is looking. I've seen people do this a lot of different ways, using pliers, using hammers, bending the heck out of it. This seems to be the best way I've seen yet. Now this is just one option of how you can make the wick. I've been researching this for a while before I decided to make one, and there's actually a couple different things. Some people say they could take a strip of that little Kevlar type wick, and someone I saw online that did it with a piece of carbon felt. Carbon felt is what plumbers use to put around pipes, and the nice thing about carbon felt, I mean, you can hit it with a torch and it just won't burn, but it'll help to wick up the either the Crisco or in this case the wax right up the wick. Now this one doesn't have anything connected to it, okay, so it's going to be actually wicked up through what they call capillary method. And oh, look at that, it's starting to go through now. Isn't that great? Aha! So a little bit longer. And again, if you're doing it with the felt, what you would do is you would put a little strip of felt in there, and you would take some copper wire, okay, copper wire, and just kind of wrap it around to hold it all stiff and twist it really tight. And you can actually put the copper wire in one of these things, or you can just make a loop with it so it sets up on the bottom by itself. Okay, we're going to go a little taller. There, I think that will do it. Now the nice thing about this is you can crimp it right over here to make sure the wick does not come out. So I'm going to crimp it here right at the top. That's going to hold the wick there. And I'm going to trim it, hopefully, at the bottom. Yeah, I have some heavy duty scissors designed for this kind of thing that I had brought to the game, but who knows where they went. You can see why you want some good scissors. There, finally. So there is my wick, and it's going to sit just like that in the bottom. Now, it's not sitting really good now, but once it's in there with the wax, it'll look a lot better. So that's going to go in there like that, and then we're going to pour our wax, which has already started to solidify here. Move this stuff out of the way. I got a paper here so I don't get a mess all over the place. Whoops. And let's see if I can get it to sit up right in the center. It's not wanting to stand, and I put a little bit too much wax in there. Whoops. Okay. So anyways, it's going to use the capillary action, so the wick, the wax that's on there is going to get it started. And then what's going to happen is as it heats up, the heat of the metal is going to melt the wax around the base of the wick, and that liquid will be able to wick itself up. Almost like if you've seen when I do my gardening outside, I actually have a capillary system gardening where I have a wick of cloth going into a bucket full of water and then into the soil, and it just kind of wicks the water out of the bucket into the soil so it takes what it needs. Kind of works the same system with that. Oh, look at that. It is hardening already. So we're just going to wait for this to harden a little bit, and I will be right back. And just like magic, it's hardened. Of course, it's been like 5 minutes and I put it in the freezer. So let's see how she works. I've got my trusty lighter, and I made it a little lower than I should have because what I did was I cut the wick a little too small. Okay. And it works! It works! Now, the way this works is, as it burns, the wick burns forever because it's steel, okay? But the wax is still gonna melt. So as it melts down, the whole idea is, if you have leftover candles like this, we have them all over the place, what do you do with them? You take the pieces and you put them in, but I have too many here. I just was doing it, I got too many in here already. And it fills it up so you still have the candle. Otherwise, it'll burn down and that flame will go down and down. You're gonna have a big metal wick. I mean, the flame won't get real tall. The wick tends to go down with the metal because it's not like a regular wick that'll just keep on burning because it's not flammable. It has to use a capillary action to pull up the wax, okay? So that's one good thing, okay, it'll flame, but you don't want to have this big piece of metal, so you need to keep on filling it. Now, the problem we had is the quality of wax. I went to the dollar store and bought some of these big candles and smashed them up like this, and what I found was I couldn't get the thing to light. It would light for a little bit and go out. But I realized that when I cracked the candles had like a small, like the tea light candle in the middle, and it had a different kind of wax. You can almost see this was on the inside. See the color of that? And this was surrounding it. Okay? This is like perfumed, and it's a cheaper wax, but it's like they're trying to save money by putting good wax in the middle. But you can't tell by looking at it, but when you hit it with a hammer, you can see two different kind of waxes. And I had put them all in there, but I had put mostly this perfumed garbage wax in there, and it just didn't seem to work out right. So what we did is we went back and took a bunch of tea lights. Oops, you can see we got another broken one. Those little tea lights, and melted those and put that candle in there. So this is all behind the scenes. It would have been an hour-long video for you to see, but I don't want to just say, hey, it works. I want to show you the ins and outs, okay? So we had to melt the tea lights and put them in there. While we're going through this fiasco, Raluca made her very own Forever Wick using the leftover pieces that I had and the extra wax that I poured out in a shot glass. So it's the Forever Shot Glass Wick. I wish it could be Forever Booze in it. So use good wax. Use a candle, maybe one of those skinny candles if you can use it, or leftover candles that you've been burning that you know burn, or just get some paraffin wax to make it with it. So at least you're not going to have that problem if you do it with Crisco. But I just like to have the wax. And of course, how do you turn it off? You turn it off just by either blowing it out or covering it. And the nice thing is, once it's covered, well, this is one of those two-pot mason jar. Once it's covered, okay, the wick's not going to fall apart because it's made out of metal. So you can just take that, put it in your backpack, put it wherever you want to go. So there you go, the emergency Forever Candle Wick. Hope you enjoyed it. Try it. Let me know how it worked out for you in the comments and what kind of things you use it for. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.